welcome into episode 16 of Glory, Glory, and Roll Tide. Missed on Tuesday, partly because of my fault. Got caught up with something else and was having to. It's also freezing cold out here in the garage, and so quite simply, I just didn't want to come out here and record, and don't really have another place to record. So that's why there was no show on Tuesday. Try to do better, but that's why there was no show on Tuesday. Before we really get into any football stuff, DJ, I just had somebody tell me that Home Alone is not a Christmas movie.
What is it?
I don't know. His comments were he's forced to watch Home Alone, which I don't know if it's considered a Christmas movie, but my family seems to treat it as such.
Okay. I mean, I guess because it's a movie that has Christmas in it. It's not necessarily a Christmas movie, I guess, but it's a movie you watch at Christmas.
Yeah, I need to ask him, and that should follow up and be like, "What's your take on Die Hard?" Then.
Yeah, because I mean, if that's the case, then Die Hard's a Christmas movie, but it doesn't. I don't guess Home Alone really has anything to do with Christmas. He does go to church at that one point, and the old guy saves him at the end, but that's it.
Have you seen the bad theology that's going around on social media where they're trying to say the old man is Jesus? It's really bad theology surfacing on social media. So if you see that, just
the only thing that's
pull a genuine Saint Nick and punch heretics. That's what we should do.
The only thing I've seen on not Instagram, TikTok, it's much different than my Instagram, is British Chinese food, which is soggy fries and curry sauce and gross things. They make me so mad. Thank God for George Washington. Like every day, that's how he should be included in your prayer. Thank you for George Washington.
Yes.
And sending him to us.
We should have listened to him on a lot. We definitely didn't. Enough of politics and Christmas movies. It's funny, last Wednesday, Thursday, whenever we were recording, we had nothing to talk about. 5 minutes after we get done recording, there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, everything in Michigan.
Yeah, I'm sure at this point everybody knows kind of what's going on. All I will say after seeing his arraignment and seeing the fall from where he went from Monday talking at a press conference to Thursday or Friday or whatever being arraigned, the first thing that came to mind was Johnny Cash's song "God's Gonna Cut You Down."
Yeah,
and when he says what's done in the dark will be brought to the light. And obviously we've got with that Luke 8:17, for nothing is hidden that will not become evident, nor anything secret that will not be known or come to light. I will preface that with, I am a sinner. I, like Paul, am the chief of sinners. What the heck happened, Jerome Moore? How did you get to this point? And I say all that to as much of a warning to myself and to anybody else. It's just guys, freaking, you need Jesus. And you need to listen to what he says, or else all of a sudden everything you don't want to become public could easily become public very quickly.
Yeah, it just seems kind of weird because he always presented himself as a pretty clean-cut, good guy. And then it's just, I don't know. I don't want to really get into anything because it's messy and gross, and
yes, in a lot of ways,
it's a really rough look for the Michigan man. You know, it's all they talk about is the Michigan man persona and how they're full of crap.
Yeah, and there's what I was thinking about, just seeing he looked unstable in the sense that scared and depressed in his arraignment, in my opinion. And I was just sitting there watching, and I was like, man, that pales in comparison on what Judgment Day is going to look like. And I'll just kind of finish up this theology part of this football podcast with repent, for the kingdom of heaven is near. And that's not just to Sharon Moore. That's to every single one of us. With that said, let's actually get into some SEC football. So the SEC released their schedule last week. I told you, I think a couple weeks ago, that after Herbstreit called out Alabama for dropping a game against West or South Florida, they had dropped a game against South Florida because I was like, I think the SEC needs that weekend. And sure enough, the SEC needed that weekend. And they kept Florida State on the schedule, dropped West Virginia, and that's how you got ECU. And then Georgia does the same thing a couple days ago, to where it's just like these people are not dropping opponents. It's they're still abiding by what the SEC is making them doing, and that's 9 conference games plus one power conference game. In some cases, they already had 2 because Georgia already has Georgia Tech on there. They're not going to get rid of that, and so yes, they're going to drop somebody else so that they're not. Their schedule's already hard enough. They're not going to make it even harder. I saw your take on Instagram. Do you want to tell everybody what you said about Georgia's schedule for
Uh,
next year?
Full transparency, I um, did do it just for the clicks and just for reactions. Mikey's the only one that never reacts to half of what I put on Instagram anyway. But I just put 2 letters. Easy. Is it actually? No. It's gonna be tough. But you know, sometimes you just gotta be a little bold and say whatever.
Well, it's interesting because I was watching that schedule release, because I was just watching and trying to see I knew who Bama was playing. I was trying to see when they were playing,
Mm-hmm.
but I kept thinking back to you saying a 3-loss SEC champ, or is either 3-loss SEC champ or somebody with 3 losses will be in the SEC championship. And yeah, I could see that because I could see 3 losses for Alabama. There's 3 possible losses for Georgia. Not saying that either one of those will do that, but there's games on there that are losable.
And then what does that come back to? What I said, I think, on our very first one. Eventually, a 4 loss team is going to be in the playoff.
Yeah, because if
It's going to have
let's
to happen.
let's say we have a kind of a similar repeat to what we had this year, where the SEC fully cannibalizes itself. You got Alabama and Georgia making it to the SEC championship with 3 losses. One of those teams going to lose a 4th game. Are you really going to leave a SEC championship contender out of the playoff? And that was my whole problem with people saying Alabama shouldn't be in. It's like, so you're going to take the team that was the number 1 seed in the SEC and leave them out, but you're going to put in 4 teams that finished below them into the playoff. And if I know they didn't do that, but if that's the logic that they were to follow next year, it's just you got to get rid of it. There's just no point in keeping it at that point. The Did you see the Notre Dame stuff about how allegedly schools and conferences are?
Wanting to freeze them out.
Yeah,
I think it'd be hilarious.
it would be. It would be disappointing for me in the sense that Bama has a home and home with Notre Dame soon,
Mm-hmm.
and that would be my chance to actually go up to South Bend. But if they did that, I think that would be hilarious, based off of Notre Dame basically being guaranteed a spot in the playoff.
Yeah. No, when that came out, I was like, that's stupid. It's really dumb. I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't understand how that's fair at all. And I guess that's really it for all the other stuff that I was planning on talking about on Tuesday. Just kind of a quick summary of it. Um, well, Bama's,
One thing I was wanting to talk about Tuesday:
yeah,
Heisman Trophy.
your
Um,
sweet baby boy Diego.
yeah, yeah. Let's talk about the butt he showed of himself. What's on the field is on the field. Fernando Mendoza is a great player, corniest guy possibly to ever live,
Yes.
but he seems like a very good person. Comes from a great family, and very nice, very pleasant to be around. Um, and then I've taken up for Diego and a lot of his antics all year, past 2 years. But then you get on. I don't follow him on Instagram. I'm not weird, but you see on Instagram, F the voters, and then he's at a party, F Indiana. What are you doing, guy? There's a reason. There's possibly more than just on field why he did not win the Heisman. That is why he didn't win the Heisman. It's just off the field stuff, and personality wise, he's not a Heisman winner.
No, neither was Johnny Manziel. Though.
No, but Johnny's a little different. It's just I part of me was like, man, I wonder if the Heisman House Nissan guys were like, don't want to record with this guy.
Well, I assume they have a vote because I just like right before we came on here, I saw Mark Ingram was talking about the same thing, and he's like, Diego said F all the voters, and his point was, so you're saying F the 189 voters that voted you first place for the vote for the Heisman, like at least leave those people out of it, because Ingram said he didn't vote for him, but
Mm-hmm.
like I don't understand why you would want to call out all the voters when
You got a lot of votes.
you finished in second. Like you still had a ton of votes for first place, and like it wasn't necessarily close in the four. Like obviously Mendoza ran away with it with 643 first place votes. Pavia had 189 with second place, and then Jeremiah Love finished third, and he only had 46 first place votes. And so it came down to Mendoza and Pavia, and he just decided to anchor down on his feelings.
Yeah, and it's like Diego's probably gonna see what the next level holds, if anything. But I mean, good luck explaining that to GMs and owners and coaches at pre-draft meetings, combine meetings, pro day. Hey, you've got a lot of attitude issues. Why should we draft you? Why should we invest millions and millions of dollars into you? I mean, I don't know, probably wasn't a day 2 pick, probably a day 3 pick at the earliest, but I mean, you knocked yourself down a round or two by being an idiot.
Yeah,
Last year we talked about another quarterback that everyone says pretty egotistical and is on TV a lot and plays for the Browns now. Dude got knocked down 5 rounds because of that. Do I think he was a first round talent? No. But I mean, Diego's significantly worse attitude wise. And the whole year everyone gave him a lot of crap for things he said in the off season, things he said last year, things he said this year.
he did his best to back him up.
He did very well to back it up. That was a chance to get everyone to leave him alone. And he just here's more fuel for the fire.
He did issue an apology, but I think my issue with the apology is it had one. Where was it? But it was very AI-ish
Mm-hmm.
because
Yep.
of the dashes, or ChatGPT's calling card is like those long dashes in the middle of sentences, and there's
I
a
don't know
couple of
when to
those.
use those. I don't.
Right, I don't. Yeah,
My great aunt, she'll text me and she'll use dashes, and I'm like, that's weird. I don't know what that means, but like, I don't know when you do it. And I highly doubt Diego Pavia knows how to use dashes in a sentence.
yeah. I think just because he's at Vanderbilt probably doesn't mean he has a.
Well, he's a New Mexico State grad. I don't know what he did at Vanderbilt for the past 2 years other than play football. Is he a graduate student at Vanderbilt? Maybe, I guess. I guess he would have to be.
Yeah, technically has to be taking some sort of class, allegedly at least. Um, but yeah, my issue with Mendoza is not his playing. Like he is a goofy dude. Everything you said about Mendoza is true. Obviously, he's done what he needed to do to win the Heisman. We got a lot of crap for the Pavia for Heisman video, and
Or
so
we did.
yeah, we got a lot of crap for that. But I'm not going to sit here and say that Mendoza was the wrong choice. I thought he was going to win it anyway. I probably didn't say that, but when I turned the TV on the other night, I was like, of those four, it's probably going to Mendoza.
He looks the most like a Heisman
Yeah.
winner.
But my issue with Mendoza is his face mask. He already uses the ugly Patrick Mahomes helmet, but he uses like the kicker face mask. And the only one, in my opinion, that was able to pull off the kicker face mask in college was Ted Ginn. Ted Ginn rocked the kicker face mask with a visor. Is it a visor? Is that what
This
I'm
is a
talking
weird
about?
face mask.
Yeah.
I've never thought of it. It's very small. I don't mind the Vices helmet. I like their helmet.
I don't like the Vice's helmet. I think Patrick Mahomes has ruined football helmets because every quarterback wants that one, and I think it is the ugliest helmet. Actually, no, the ugliest helmet is the one that looks like it has a tumor
Yeah,
coming out the
the one
front of
that
it.
the linemen wear, the rhino helmets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's an ugly helmet. But like this one,
Vice is pretty safe helmet. So I mean, I don't mind him for wearing it.
the like the new, I think is it the Rydell Speed Flex? I think it's like $1,500. I
You
think
talking about
it's
that one or the Axiom that's got the panels on the side too?
that one might be $1,500. Like one of those is like $1,500, and so I'd hope that one is super safe. But yeah, I think the Vices are up there as well. You can't.
See, my complaint about the Axiom helmet is if you look up like Steelers Axiom helmet, the logo is never in the right spot. They put it very far back. There's a panel. You could fit the logo right in the middle of that and it looks fine. But they put it so far back and it looks ridiculous.
And especially like with the like triangle top
Right.
of that cutout, like
telling me you can't fit a logo in that?
yeah, that is very bad. That is very bad. I'll have to make sure I got to save that picture so I can show it to the one person that may or may not watch this. The playoff this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
What's your initial thought on Oregon JMU?
I'm a big Dukes guy. You know, we I lived in Pennsylvania for a couple of years, and we would go down Interstate 81. We'd pass the Dukes on a Saturday. That stadium's always full. I've kind of tried to keep up with JMU only because of that for 15, 16 years now. They have no shot to win this game. It's going to be
Oregon
a disaster and complete waste of time. And then
21.5 point favorite, I think.
yeah, super exciting. I'll be finding something else to do during that game.
So that's at 7:30. That's a bummer. It makes sense because at least it's on the West Coast, so you do want to put that one late. But like, Ole Miss Tulane. How do you feel about that one?
Well, I mean, they've played before, so
And it did not go well.
yeah, I thought it would. I thought it would be a close game. That was not the case. That was a disaster of a game. So yeah, I'd be shocked if it was all that much different. I think it'll be very close. That's on TNT. That's weird. TNT has a cool score bug though, so
I don't remember their score bug.
At least that's nice. It's weird that they're on TNT. But yeah, I think Ole Miss comes out swinging. It's not like they have had any reason to be mad at the world over the past month. So yeah, 17.5 right now. They're going to cover.
And Lane did send everybody back, so you get paid.
Smart man.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I'd want to get paid too, especially if I don't actually have to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
I can just get paid for the result.
Man, that's a shame. The two worst playoff games are the afternoon and night games. Okay, well,
yeah,
I'm
like
glad I'll be free at 3 o'clock on Saturday.
It's like A&M and Miami needs to be the night game. For those wondering, Massey has the most likely score for Ole Miss and Tulane being 35-21. Ole Miss and Oregon JMU being 35-15. However, JMU social media that
they're funny.
Not affiliated, but like those guys are awesome.
Yeah, they're having a good time.
Yeah.
They said Oregon might be the slowest team they've played all year.
After watching that video, I'm convinced of it too.
It's so great.
Like they've got the evidence to suggest that.
Love the propaganda. Best thing to happen for everybody is Ole Miss and Oregon blow these guys out. Worst thing that could happen is either one of those games being close.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I'm interested to see how this goes. Just from a bowl game perspective, like it was always fun, but how it goes back to like, did that team actually want to be there? But this one, it's like, no, they do want to be there because they've got a chance to win a national championship. So how are they going to approach it?
Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't mind playing Tulane in the Sugar Bowl.
Oh, 100%. Like, no, it'd be a home game for Tulane. What do you mean?
Would be. It's all right.
How do you feel about Carson Beck versus Texas A&M? Keep in mind, this will be like double the crowd that they have had to face on the road this year. And this is what, only third time they've
had to
traveled
leave
out of
the
the state of
state.
Florida.
Yeah. How stupid of a schedule is that?
It's the ACC.
Yeah. So let's see. You got battered Aggie syndrome versus
Carson Beck.
Carson Beck. So both
Which
of these fan bases are pretty mentally abused by their situation. Like, is Carson Beck going to throw 4 interceptions? It's a big game, so probably. It's a big game against a team not named Tennessee. It's probably going to throw about 4 interceptions.
And it's on the road.
And it's on the road. I know there's one fan base that loves us that is going to keep a close eye on that game. And if Notre Dame, not Notre Dame, if A&M smacks them, the Gold Dome people are going to see we should have been in.
Well, I do want to shout out our Notre Dame friends because I just wore this shirt by coincidence, but I got this this Bama hoodie from one of those Facebook groups that we're on that sells old college gear, and just by coincidence, it's the 2013 BCS national title game. So shout out not only Notre Dame but Brian Kelly, and Mantateo and his girlfriend. We were wrong. This is actually the 4th time that Miami will be out of the state of Florida this year. Their road games this year, for those of you that were wondering and don't know, were SMU, Virginia Tech, and Pitt. And I think I saw the largest crowd that they played in front of was like 63,000, allegedly.
Okay. Well, it definitely wasn't at Pitt.
No, it might have been 63,000 seats at Pitt.
Empty seats.
Yeah. Their fans do a really good job. They buy into the full yellow out every game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the seats are yellow.
Yeah.
Gold. Sorry. Gold.
So Massey has Miami and A&M being a 3-point game with A&M winning 31-28. And then the game that I am interested in, Oklahoma versus Alabama. This time at Oklahoma. My initial concern is what Bernard said last year and has apparently said the other day, and that's apparently the lighting at Oklahoma is in a weird spot. And so if you're saying that right before a night game in Alabama or at Oklahoma, you've already got me concerned because it's like you're already thinking about it. I don't know how you prep for that, and so there's that.
Oh, it's in the corners.
It is, isn't it?
That's strange.
And so the lighting's in a weird spot. I did see today that LT Overton is out. Georgia fans will remember LT Overton for the Cash Jones tackle. That was a phenomenal play call. I'm going to say, people were mad that Kirby went for it there. If the block doesn't get blown up, Cash Jones walks in for a touchdown. So phenomenal play call by Bobo. It was the right choice by Kirby. Guys just didn't execute. But
so it's in the corners until they do this renovation. It's going to take out 6,000 seats. Then they're expanding their luxury area, press box area, to that full side, and looks like they're almost building like a light rail, kind of like Williams Bryce has.
Williams Bryce's light rail is actually sick. But LT Overton's out with blood clot issues, and while that's not ideal, to me it's more like the defense played well against Georgia. The score doesn't indicate it, but the defense got put in some tough situations against Georgia as far as short fields go, and it's kind of the same way against Oklahoma the first time.
Mm-hmm.
They are going to be they're going to be faulted for giving up a touchdown, but I've never understood that. That was a pick six. Defense had nothing to do with that, so don't tell me that the defense should be faulted for that.
So I'm not trying to be rude here. It was 28-7, right?
Yeah.
Okay. One was a blocked punt.
One was a blocked punt.
One was a end of the game, turn the ball over inside the 15?
Yeah. If it was even that, and I thought it was inside the 10.
Yeah, it was very close. So that's 14 points on that.
And then the
pick was not returned that far because there was that BS face mask. that took it back to the Georgia side. I don't
remember if they scored off of that or not. I know
I can't remember.
there was one. I do know there was one legitimate drive that Georgia scored on, and I think it was right at the start of the second half. There was that one drive, I think, in the second half that was an actual legitimate drive. And I say, like, yes, and people are going to be like, every drive is legitimate. Yes, every drive is legitimate. What I'm talking about is Georgia started the ball like deep inside their own territory and scored, not getting a short field due to a turnover, block punt, whatever it is. And so I thought the defense played great. The score doesn't indicate it, but I thought the defense played great. So even with Overton's absence, that's not as big of a concern it is to me than like I think Cuevas, the tight end, is still questionable, and he had been like a safety valve for Ty for a while, and you could see his absence in the Auburn game. You could really see his absence in the Georgia game, and there's a couple other people that are listed on the out list, but like a couple of those are guys have been hurt since the beginning of the year, and one guy's in trouble.
Right.
We'll just say
just
that.
looking at the play by plays, the drive counts. After that interception, it was a 14 play, 57-yard. That's a good drive. And then there was a 6-play, 40-yard to start the second half. So after
And that was
a
off.
punt.
Yeah, I was going to say that was off a punt return, was it not?
So,
Yeah.
I mean, other than that, Georgia's 2 scoring drives consisted of a 4-play, 21-yard, and then a 3-play, 12-yard. So, as much as I would love to say Georgia just took Alabama to the woodshed.
They did when it was Georgia's defense versus Alabama's offense.
Right. Offensively, Alabama's still got a great defense. So
yeah. But then on the flip side of that, like Oklahoma's got a really good defense too, and so that's the concern for me. The concern for me is not really worried about the defense. I'm worried about the offense being able to score. And they last game, which was about 5 weeks ago, Bama still put up 400 yards of total offense. The problem was Simpson threw a pick six, and they missed a field goal at the end of the first half. And I mean, right there, that's 10 points that you either gave or you gave 7 points to Oklahoma and missed out on 3 points and you lost by 2. So that's the game right there. But now you're having to go back to their place. Like it's just going to be an interesting facet. Like I don't know what to expect. I am a negative thinker, as I've said multiple times. And so since I think negatively and I've already seen negatively what can happen in this game, I do not feel good. Apparently, who was I listening to today that said Bama is a slight favorite? It might have been Pate when I was at the gym this morning. I was catching up on Pate's episode from last night where he said Bama is a slight favorite. Last I saw, it was a pick 'em. According to Google's AI, Bama's a 1.5 point favorite over Oklahoma. I mean, I don't know what the over under. The over under's 40.5. Take the under. I know life's too short to bet the under, but I'm not telling you to bet. But just in my mind, I'm taking the under. I'm not betting a dime on this game, and I'm taking the under. So they need Jam Miller back. They need Jam Miller healthy. Kevin Riley's still hurt. They're setting like one of their other backs, and so I don't know. It's an interesting one for me. I thought I was actually going to be listening to stuff all week to figure it out, and haven't actually done so. But I just look at that. I look at what Bama's done over the past month, and I don't know how healthy they are on the offensive side to be able to get this done. Like if Parker Brailsford's still on 1 foot, they're not going to be able to do anything. Because R. Mason Thomas is probably going to be back for Oklahoma, and that dude's a freaking freak. He drug that Tennessee guy like 20 yards on his. Was that a pick six or was that a fumble recovery? Either way, when they played Tennessee. So I don't know. Obviously, I'm picking Bama to win, but I am very, very, very nervous about this game.
don't blame you. It's going to be a tough one.
Georgia's got the winner of Ole Miss Tulane. Okay, so I guess we'll be interested in that one just for that one. Saturday afternoon and night could be a very boring round of football.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been a big opponent of expanded playoffs anyway, so it's not going to excite me at all. Going to be bored. I'm going to watch something else. Probably take a nap.
I've been wanting to watch Chernobyl a lot recently. I don't know why.
I need to get HBO again.
Chernobyl's awesome.
I wanted to watch that and Sopranos.
I never got into Sopranos.
Love Sopranos.
But I could watch Chernobyl over and over, and I've gotten kind of starting to get that itch again. So might have to do that if these games don't prove out to be interesting. But watch, we say all this, we talk negatively about these games, and somebody's going to win. One of the two.
Oregon's going to win.
Yeah, Oregon. Ole
Yeah.
Miss is going to win. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are other than Georgia?
Mm-hmm.
Other than Georgia, who's your pick to win a national title? If you can't pick Georgia,
If I
is what I'm
cannot
saying.
pick Georgia,
You cannot pick Georgia.
I firmly believe if the favorites win, right? Last year, no bye team with a bye week won.
Mm-hmm.
If that changes this year, I hope whoever wins Ohio State, Georgia is going to win the national title.
I can see that.
Yeah, I can't wait to go to the Fiesta Bowl for that stupid game, but I really do believe whoever wins that, if those two teams play, whoever wins the championship.
I can see that. Actually, I don't know, because if it in that case, if it was Indiana versus Ohio State again, the way that Julian Sain got hit, Noza got hit too, but like I don't know if Julian Sain's been hit like that, and he'd have to survive that one time against Georgia and again against Indiana.
I could just be saying that because of logos. I don't know anything about Indiana. If I'm completely and 100% honest, I've watched 3 of their games this year, and I don't know much about them.
I haven't even watched a full game of theirs, but from what I have watched against Ohio State and Oregon, they are the most physical team of those 3, and that's wild to say. For me, I can't pick Alabama, I'm pulling for Ole Miss because I think it would be kind of cool for them to win a national title without Lane. I would hate that Lane would get paid for it, but I think it would be cool for them to win a national title without Lane.
It'd be funny if they win it and LSU has to pay for it.
Yeah, that really would be. And so that's probably, I don't know if they are going to win it, but that's probably like the other team that I'm pulling for if Bama does not make it.
If they win it, let's play that. If they win it, who does Ole Miss? Does Ole Miss like wipe Lane out the books and just put
Pete Golden gets a statue?
Yeah. I think that'd be hilarious.
Pete Golden gets a statue, and Pete Golden gets a statue with him like stepping on a visor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's probably what happens. That would be interesting. I almost am now pulling for that. Ole Miss win it just to see
what happens.
Yeah,
I love the doing it for what happens. I don't love it because they would have to beat Georgia on that route, but
right.
Speculation's fun.
It is. It is. All right, cool. Well, everybody have a great weekend. Roll Tide.
Go Dogs.